Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to the session. Nice to see all of you. Let's wait for about 3 or 4 minutes. Let everyone join in, and then we proceed. All right. Let's wait for 3 or 4 minutes. Come on, quickly, everyone, join in. Yeah, let's take another 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Let everyone come in. Yeah, let's wait for another 2 more minutes. Let people join in. Quickly, everyone, come in quickly. Quickly, 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 everyone, come in. Settle down. Settle down, and we'll start the session. Yeah, just about a minute more. Yeah, just about 30 seconds more. And then we start. Ten more seconds. All right, let's start. Welcome to Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform that gives you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination by providing you top educators, quality content, and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. And welcome to today's session. Before we proceed, a brief introduction about the educator today. That's me. Just one second. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I'm a Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I'm an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, an associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University. I'm currently a practicing chartered accountant and also a visiting faculty for CA subjects and an educator for CA students, both offline and online. Prior to starting on my own, I worked with SR Bartley Boy and Associates. That's the Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global in the Audit and Assurance Department. Then I went on to work with Ernst & Young India, EY India, in the Mergers and Acquisitions Department. And then I went on to work with the Manipal Group in Bangalore as the corporate controller of their Indian entity as well as their German subsidiary located in Frankfurt, Germany. So it was only after I got back from Frankfurt, Germany that I decided to start something on my own. And that gave me an opportunity to become an educator, and also that gave me an opportunity today to be able to take this session for you young, fine and enthusiastic CA aspirants. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I hope you find the session useful. At any time during the session, in case you have any questions, queries, observations or discussions to be made, please do not hesitate to drop in a line and I will take up the matter for discussion or problem solving as soon as possible. Okay, so thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. And you can also look me up on YouTube with my name Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and you will find all the many classes that I've taken on the YouTube channel of Unacademy, which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. You can also look me up on the Unacademy Learning app with my name, that is Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and you'll find all the special classes that I've conducted on the Unacademy Learning app, which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. So please go out there, make use of all the resources and sessions, and always come back to me in case you have any questions or queries. Okay, let's proceed. Now, like I told you, Unacademy helps you prepare for preparation for CA Foundation and Intermediate examination through 3 platforms, that is YouTube, Special Class, and the premium platform of Unacademy, which is the Plus platform, which is also a payment-based subscription model. So let's talk about YouTube and Special Classes. YouTube and Special Classes are absolutely free, and but they give you immense resources and value for your preparation for your CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. YouTube is what you're attending now, and also if you look me up with my name Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, you'll see the many sessions that I've taken. And also on the Unacademy Learning app, if you look for me with my name Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, you'll see the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning app, which will be useful for you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. So let's talk about the Plus platform of Unacademy. The Plus platform of Unacademy is the premium platform of Unacademy, and it's also a payment-based subscription model. More about the packages will be told to you in the next slides. Now, I personally recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible due to the following reasons. Firstly, it provides daily live classes where you get to chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and answer polls. All this while the class is going on. Yes, you heard it right. All this while the class is going on. You do not need to wait till the end of the session. You do not need to wait for a couple of days after the class or the weekend after the class, or fix up an appointment with your educator. You can ask your queries and doubts then and there on a real-time basis when your class is going on. It is as simple as lifting your hand up in the classroom, and your educator will be happy to answer your doubts. The second reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the live tests and quizzes it conducts on a regular basis to evaluate your preparation, and also conducts various mock tests to get a detailed analysis of your performance. Now, you might ask me, what is this evaluation and analysis, and what has it got to do with the examination? So please remember, when you're preparing for a professional examination, it is important for you to evaluate your preparation from time to time to know how prepared you are, which areas you need more preparation, which areas you can say you're prepared, and which areas you require external help. So basically, the Plus platform of Unacademy helps you in identifying your preparation into three areas, that is your strong areas, your not so strong areas, and your weak areas, in a sense that whatever limited time you have for preparation for the CA foundation and intermediate examinations, you can use that time accordingly for these three areas, in the sense more time more time excuse me, more time on your weak areas, a little lesser time on your not so strong areas, and less time on your strong areas, until a time when your weak areas and your not so strong areas eventually become your strong areas. Thereby, the Plus platform of Unacademy ensures minimum wastage of time and maximum utilization of time. The third reason why I recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the structured courses it provides. All the courses on the Plus platform are structured in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it, which simply means all the Plus courses on the Plus platform of Unacademy are prepared keeping your exam syllabus in mind. And once you complete a Plus course on the Plus platform, you can rest assured that your syllabus is complete without missing out on any important or major points. And lastly, and most importantly, the one subscription to the Plus platform of Unacademy gives you access to all the live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices, which simply means once you get a subscription to the Plus platform of Unacademy, it gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes, and it gives you access to all the live and recorded Plus courses that Unacademy has to offer you. And not only this, you can view them from any of your devices, which means you can view them from your mobile phone, laptop, tablet, or your desktop, as the case may be, without any restrictions. And not only this, you can view them 24/7 without having any timing restrictions as well. So not like you have to view them from 10 to 4 or 10 to 6 or something like that. Whenever you have the time to prepare for your examinations, all you need to do is just pull out your mobile phone, log into the Unacademy Learning app, and make use of all the resources that it has. And another feature is you can access this information from wherever you want, whether you're at home, whether you are in office coming back home, whether you're traveling to office, or whether you're waiting for someone for a meeting, or you're in your native place, or you're on a vacation and you have some time to spare. All you need to do is pull out your mobile phone, log into the Unacademy Learning app, make use of that time to utilize those resources in your preparation for the CA Foundation and intermediate examinations. And all you require is an internet plan or a data connection, which all of us are blessed with today. So keeping these points among the many others in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate course. All right, please take about 30 seconds and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Right? Yeah. Now, for those of you who are on the Unacademy Learning app and are using it, I thank you very much. And I request your support in the future as well. And for those of you who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy Learning app, I request you to go to the Play Store on your mobile phone, download the Unacademy Learning app, put in your mobile number where you will get an OTP, and using that OTP, you can register on the Unacademy Learning app. It's as simple as that, with no complicated procedures or lengthy procedures. Now, you might ask me, what do you get by downloading the Unacademy Learning app and making use of it and registering on it? You get access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to offer to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And it gives you access to all the live and recorded Plus courses that Unacademy has to offer you in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. So keeping these things in mind, please go ahead, download the Unacademy Learning app, make use of it, make use of it, and benefit in your preparation for the examinations, and also spread the word around and help people around you get onto the Unacademy learning app, help them register on it using their mobile number and OTP, and also benefit from the various resources that Unacademy has to offer to you. All right, please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Okay, any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Okay, now like I told you, the Plus platform of Unacademy, the Plus platform of Unacademy is a premium platform of Unacademy and is a payment-based subscription model which gives you various subscription packages for the examinations. So the subscription packages for the CA Foundation and Intermediate course provided by the Plus platform of Unacademy are as follows. The packages are for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. The 1 month package normally costs about 3,500. The 3 months package costs about 8,750. The 6 month package costs about 14,000 rupees. The 12 month package costs about 17,500, and the 24 months package costs about 21,000 rupees. Now please remember, this is the listed price. So before you make the payment of your package, please do not forget to use the code Pratik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Pratik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. So the after discount price, the various packages are: the 1 month package will cost you rupees 3150, the 3 month package will cost you rupees 7875, the 6 month package will cost you rupees 12,600, the 12 month package will cost you rupees 15,750, and the 24 months package will cost you rupees 18,900. So you see, immediately you get a 10% reduction or discount when you use my code Pratik before making the payment. Now, I personally recommend you to go for the 12 months package for the two reasons. Firstly, it is cost effective. If you compare the 1 month package cost with the per month cost of the 12 months package, you will see you get great savings immediately. And secondly, since the CA Foundation and Intermediate course is provided to you in one subscription package, a 12-month package will be highly beneficial for you because it covers the entire duration of both the courses, that is the CA Foundation and Intermediate. And please remember, it takes about a year's time for you to prepare and clear the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. So if you're getting a package that covers the entire duration of both your courses at a very cost-effective price, I think that's a very good offer. So, but having said this, you're free to choose the package of your choice. But please do not forget to use the code Pratik before making the payment to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. Now, you can also use the no-cost DMI option available for 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months subscription, just in case you do not wish to make the payment at one shot. And the payment options available are internet banking, debit card, credit card, and also you could redeem all the coins that you've accumulated by watching the various special classes while paying up for your Plus subscription. So keeping these things in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right, so please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this slide. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. All right. Now, like I told you, the Unacademy Learning app gives you access to all the live and recorded special classes that Unacademy has to offer you. Here are snapshots of few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning app, which is there for your at your disposal to be used in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. So the sessions are on revision test papers, business law, sale of goods act, Indian Contracts Act, Companies Act, fundamentals of accounting, revision on partnership accounts, admission, death of partner, admission of partner, retirement of partner, AS2 valuation of inventories, revision on final accounts of non-manufacturing entities, and revision on sale of goods on approval or return basis. Now, please remember, these are few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning app. So please go on to the Unacademy Learning app, look for Prathik Gupta, PRATHIK and you'll see all my sessions there. So please go ahead and make use of them in your preparation. And after doing that, if you have any questions or queries, you can always come back to me. Here are also links to few of the many special classes that I have conducted on the Unacademy Learning app. You can either click on these links or you can copy and paste these links on your browser to take you directly to the special class on the Unacademy Learning app where you can make use of them. So there are special classes on the Indian Contracts Act, Sale of Goods Act, Indian Partnership Act, Limited Liability Partnership Act, Companies Act, Basics of Communication, accounting concepts, revision test papers, among many more. Please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Okay, let's start off with this session, that is residential status under Income Tax Act 1961 Part 1. And this session is for CA intermediate students to help them with their taxation syllabus. Okay, so we are going to discuss in this a session about the residential status under Income Tax Act 1961. Now, this is a very important concept because the residential status of a person determines whether his income is taxable in India or not. Okay, so there are three residential statuses that are possible, that is resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident, and non-resident. And based on the what are you, every year your incomes are taxed to India year on year. So it becomes very important for you to determine your residential status every year. Okay, and let's discuss the details of those. Okay, residential status and scope of total income. Now, residential status. The incidence of tax on any SSC depends upon his residential status under the Act, under the Income Tax Act, that is. For the purposes of income tax, taxpayers are classified into three broad categories on the basis of the residential status, like I told you: resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Okay, so now further as we go, we will discuss as to when does a person become a resident and not ordinary resident, resident and ordinary resident, and non-resident. Okay, so are you clear about this? Take about a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask. Okay, now let's proceed. Now, for an individual or an HUF, okay, an individual or HUF means Hindu Undivided Family. There can be resident and ordinary resident, and resident but not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Okay, so for an individual HUF, you can be resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident, and a non-resident. But for a firm, association of persons, local authority or company, etc., you can either be a resident or you can be a non-resident. You cannot be a resident and ordinary resident and resident but not ordinary resident. This is simply because an individual or a HUF is a natural thing. That means a person born naturally. But a firm, AOP, local authority, company are entities created through a legal process. So they cannot be resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident. They can only be a resident and non-resident. The residential status of an assessee must be ascertained with reference to each previous year. So each year you need to determine the residential status of the assessee. That could be either individual, HUF, firm, AOP, local authority, company, etc., to find out what are the taxes or what are the incomes in India that are taxable. A person who is resident and ordinarily resident in 1 year may become a non-resident or resident but not ordinary resident in the next year. Okay, so the residential status of a person or an assessee can keep on changing year on year. A person who's a resident and ordinary resident in 1 year may become a non-resident in the next year. So it becomes very important to check the residential status of each assessee every year on year. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. I'm giving you ample time to read it and understand it. Okay, so that you can ask me questions. Now let's talk about residential status of individuals. Under section 6, One, an individual is said to be a resident in India in any previous year if he satisfies any one of the following conditions. Okay, so an individual is said to be a resident in India in any previous year if he satisfies any one of the following conditions. Now, these are two conditions, and any one of them has to be fulfilled. First, he has been in India during the previous year for a total of 182 days or more, or he has been in India during the four immediately preceding year, the previous year, or for a total period of 365 days or more, and has been in India for at least 60 days in the previous year. If the individual satisfies any one of the conditions mentioned above, he is a resident. If both the conditions above are not satisfied, an individual is a non-resident. Okay, so let's break it up and look at it. Okay, now let's say the previous year. Previous year is also means financial year. Previous year, 1819. Okay, that means March, starting on 1st April 2018 and ending on 31st March 2019. Now we are determining his residential status for previous year 1819. Okay, so there are two conditions. Firstly, in the previous year 1819, he should be in India for a period of 182 days or more. Okay, 182 days or more. That means it doesn't matter whether it's continuous or whatever. It could be that he comes to India, stays for 3 days, goes out, then stays for 30 days, then goes out, stays for 60 days. The total in the year 1819 should be 182 days or more. So if the first condition is fulfilled, he becomes a resident, and he becomes a resident in India. Okay, or if he does not stay for 182 days or more in the previous year, then we go to the second condition. Now, what is the second condition? He should be at least 60 days in this previous year. So in this previous year, he is in India for at least 60 days. Point number one. Okay, so let's assume in the previous year 1819 he is in India for a period of 60 days. Now, what is the second? What is the second part of this? In the 4 years immediately preceding the previous year. So 4 years immediately preceding this are which years? 17, 18, 16, 17, 15, 16, 14, 15. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. A total of all these 4 years, he should have been in India for 365 days or more. So, if during the 4 preceding years, that is 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, he is in India for 365 days or more, and in the previous year 1819 he is in India for 60 days or more, then also he will be considered to be a resident. If a person does not fulfill both these conditions, that is 182 days in 1819 or 60 days in 1819 and 365 days or more in the previous 4 years, then he will be a non-resident. All right, please take 2 or 3 minutes, try to understand this, go through this, and ask me any questions you may have. Okay, yeah, I'm taking it nice and easy so that you can understand. Any questions you may have, please ask me. Take about 2 or 3 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Take about 2 or 3 minutes. Any questions, please ask me. Take 2 more minutes. Take another minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Another 10-15 seconds. Any questions? Okay. Now, notes based on the previous slide. The term stay in India includes stay at territorial waters of India, which means 12 nautical miles into the sea from the Indian coastline. Even the stay in a ship or boat moored in the territorial waters of India would be sufficient to make the resident, individual resident. So even if he's on a ship which is in the territorial waters of India and it crosses this particular number of days, then it will make the individual a resident of India. And the Indian territory extends 12 nautical miles into the sea from the Indian coastline. It is not necessary for a period of stay must be continuous, like I told you, or active, nor it is essential that the stay should be at the usual place of residence, business, or employment. So in India, any part of India, if he is there for 182 days or more, or 60 days and 365 days, as the case may be, he will be considered as a resident individual. For the purpose of counting the number of days stayed in India, both the date of departure and as well as the date of arrival are considered to be India. So if he leaves India on a particular date and he comes back to India on a particular date, both those dates will be included while calculating his stay in India. The residence of an individual for income tax purpose has nothing to do with citizenship, place of birth, or domicile. An individual can therefore be resident in more countries than one, even though he may have only one domicile. So this simply means the citizenship or domicile of the person has nothing to do with the residential status. A person may be a resident of more than one countries at the same time based on the number of days in which he stays in those countries. All right, so a person who's not of Indian origin or not an Indian citizen can also be a resident of India. All right, please take 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 more minutes. Please read it carefully, and any questions you may have, please ask. Any questions? Take about a minute more. Please take about a minute more, read it carefully. Any questions, please ask. Are we done? Any questions? All right. Now let's look at the exceptions of this 182 days and 160 days. The following categories of individuals will be treated as resident in India only if the period of their stay for the relevant previous year amounts to 182 days or more. That means In the following cases, the second condition of 60 days and 365 days will not apply. In other words, even if such persons were in India for 60 days or more, but less than 182 days in the relevant previous year, they will not be treated as resident due to the reason that their stay in India was for 365 days or more during the 4 immediately preceding years. So in the following cases, the second condition does not apply. Which is the second condition? This is the second condition. So in the following cases, what we are going to discuss, the second case does not apply. Okay. Now, what are those cases? Let's see. Sorry. An Indian citizen who leaves India during the relevant previous year as a member of a crew of an Indian ship of a purpose of employment outside India. So if it's an Indian ship and a person is a member of the crew of that Indian ship and he leaves India during the previous year, or he leaves India for the purpose of employment outside India, in both these cases, he will be a resident of India only if he stays in India for a period of 182 days or more. Alright, so even that 60 days and 365 days concept will not apply. The second condition, an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin engaged outside India in an employment or a business or profession or in any other vocation who comes to visit India during the relevant previous year. So the first case is when a person goes for employment outside India. In that case, he has to be in India for 182 days or more. But in the second case, if a person is doing any employment outside India or who is carrying on any business or vacation outside India, then in that case, if he comes to India, then he has to be in India for a period of 182 days or more in order to be a resident Indian. All right. So these are two exceptions. There are more exceptions that will follow, but please go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Take about 2 or 3 minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 to 3 minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 or 3 minutes more. Take 2 more minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Take 2 more minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Take another minute or so. Try and understand it. Any questions you may have, please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Take about a minute more. Okay, let's go to the next exception. Okay, so next slide. Now we're looking at resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident. In the earlier slides, we saw who is a resident and who is a non-resident. Now we're looking at who is a resident and ordinary resident and who is a resident but not ordinary resident. Only individuals and HUF can be resident but not ordinary resident in India. All other classes of SSCs can either be resident or non-resident, like we discussed. Only individual and HUF can be a resident and not ordinary resident, or resident and ordinary resident, whereas the others, firms, AOP, everything can be only resident or non-resident Indians. A not ordinary resident person is the one who satisfies any one of the following conditions. So a person who satisfies any one of these following conditions will be treated as resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, now what are those two conditions? So a person who satisfies any one of the following conditions, that is, if such individual has been a non-resident in India in any 9 out of the 10 previous years preceding the relevant previous year. So if the relevant previous year is 1819, 10 years before 1819, out of those 10 years, any 9 years, this person should have been a non-resident. That means the person should not have fulfilled both these conditions, that is 182 days or 60 days and 365 days in 9 out of the 10 previous years before 1819. Okay, or the next condition is if such individual has during the 7 years, that means before 1819, 7 years preceding the previous year in India, he has been in for a period of 729 days or less. Okay, so the two conditions are 10 years before the relevant previous years. Out of those 10 years, 9 years he should have been a non-resident, or in the 7 years before the previous year, 1819, for example, he should have been in India for 729 days or less. If he fulfills any one of these two conditions, he will be treated as a resident but not ordinary resident. And if he does not fulfill any of these two conditions, he will be known as resident and ordinary resident. All right, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about 2 to 3 minutes. Take about 2 to 3 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Take 2 more minutes. Any questions, please ask. Carefully read it. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Okay. Note, now in simpler terms, an individual is said to be a resident and ordinary resident if he satisfies both the conditions. Okay, this is in continuation to the previous slide. He is a resident in India at least in 2 out of the last 10 preceding relevant previous years, and his total stay in India in the last 7 years preceding the relevant previous year is 720 days or more. So basically, if the person does not fulfill any of these two conditions, he becomes a resident and ordinary resident. And here are those. So if he fulfills these two conditions, he is not fulfilling any of those two conditions, which means he is a resident in at least 2 out of the last 10 preceding previous years, and his total stay in India in the last 7 years preceding the relevant previous year is 730 days or more. If the individual satisfies both the conditions mentioned above, he is a resident and ordinary resident. But if only one or none of the above conditions are satisfied, the individual is said to be resident but not ordinary resident. Okay? Yeah. Please take 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Take 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Take about 2 more minutes. Any questions? Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. All right, any questions, please ask. Now, let's take an example, okay, for discussion purposes. An Australian cricket player visits India for 100 days in every financial year. This has been the practice in the last 10 financial years. Find out his residential status for the assessment year 2020 or 21. So this is an Australian cricketer who visits India for 100 days every year, and he has been doing that for the last 10 years. So now we need to find out his residential status for the assessment year 2021. All right. So determination of residential status. So the previous year, so assessment year 2021 is a previous year 1920. So in the previous year, he has stayed for 100 days. Clear? Now calculation of period of, so now before this, 4 years before this, he should have been in India for 365 days or more. So calculation of period of stay during 4 preceding previous years, 100 into 4, 400 days. So does he fulfill the second condition? That is 60 days or more and 365 days or more in the last 4 years? Yes. So he becomes a resident Indian. All right. Please take about 2 minutes. Go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Take 2 minutes. Take a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Okay, now let's look at the explanation. Now A has been in India for a period of more than 60 days during the previous year 1920, and for a period of 365 days during the four immediately preceding previous years. Therefore, since he satisfies one of the basic conditions under section 6.1, he is a resident for the assessment year 2021. Like I told you, since his period of stay in India during the last 7 years is less than 730 days, he is not an ordinary resident during the assessment year 2021. So in the last 7 previous years, his stay in India is less than 730 days. That's why he becomes not an ordinary resident. Therefore, A is a resident but not ordinary resident during the previous year 1920, relevant to the assessment year 2021. So this is his residential status as per the information given. All right. Please go through this, take 2 minutes, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Any questions? Okay, now let's take another example. Mr. A US citizen, comes to India for the first time during previous year 15-16. During the financial years 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, and 19-20, he was in India for 55 days, 60 days, 90 days, 150 days, and 70 days respectively. Determine his residential status for the assessment year 2021, which means previous year 1920. Okay, now Mr. A US citizen, comes to India for the first time during the previous year 15-16. During the financial years 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, and 19-20, he was in India for 55 days, 60 days, 90 days, 150 days, and 150 days and 70 days respectively. Determine his residential status for assessment year 2021, which is the previous year 1920. All right. Let's look at the solution. During the previous year 1920, Mr. A was in India for 70 days. So he fulfills the first part of the second basic condition. And during the 4 years preceding the previous years 1920, he was in India for 355 days. That is 150 plus 90, 240, 240 plus 60, 300, 300 plus 55, 355 days. Okay. Thus, he does not satisfy the condition under 6.1. Therefore, he is a non-resident for the previous year. Because for a person to be a resident, the condition is he should be in India for 60 days or more, and in the relevant previous year, and in the 4 years before that previous year, he should be in India for 365 days or more. In the instant case, he's been in India for 355 days. Okay, please take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Take 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take 2 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Any questions? Take another minute. Okay. Now, let's look at residential status of an HUF. Now, so far, we spoke about the residential status of an individual. An individual can be a resident and ordinary resident, resident but not ordinary resident, and non-resident. Okay. And let's look at the HUF now. A resident. A HUF would be a resident in India if the control of and the management of its affairs is situated wholly or partly in India. So a HUF will said to be a resident in India if its control and management of its affairs is situated wholly or partly in India, and non-resident if the control and management of the affairs is situated wholly outside India. It would be a non-resident. So that means a person who's been controlling the HUF is, if he's outside India fully, then it will be a non-resident. But if the control and management of the affairs of a HUF is wholly or partly in India, then it will be considered to be a resident Indian. Okay? Yeah, please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Take a minute. Take a minute. Any questions, please ask. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of the term control and management in terms of HUF? The expression control and management referred to under section 6 refers to the central control and management and not to the carrying on of day-to-day business by servants, employees or agents. That means who gives these orders to the servant, employees or agents? That is the central control and management. So the central control and management should be wholly or partly situated in India. For it to be a resident, it should be situated wholly outside India to be a non-resident. Okay, the business may be done from outside India and yet its control and management may be wholly within India. Therefore, control and management of a business is said to be situated at a place where the head and the brain of the business is situated. Okay, so if your karta of the HUF is situated outside India, then it is a non-resident. If it's situated in India and then outside India as well, then it is treated as a resident Indian. The place of control may be different from the usual place of running the business and sometimes even the registered office of the SSC. This is because the control and management of a business need not necessarily be done from the place of business or from the registered office of the SSC. But control and management do imply the functioning of the controlling and directing power at a particular place with some degree of permanence. So there should be some degree of permanence in the operations and the control and management. Then only the control and management can be said to be in India or outside India. All right, please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through the slide and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take 2 or 3 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Take a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Take a minute more. Okay, now we saw about the HUF being a resident or not ordinary resident. Now in the following cases, a HUF will be a resident and ordinary resident or resident but not ordinary resident. What are the cases? If the karta of resident HUF satisfies both the additional conditions as is applicable in case of an individual, then the resident HUF will be a resident and ordinary resident. Otherwise, it will be a resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, so that means firstly the HUF should be a resident HUF. That means the control and affairs should be wholly or partly situated in India. Then the karta of the HUF should satisfy both the additional conditions. That means he should be in India for 730 days or more during the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year, or he should be a resident Indian in 2 out of the 10 preceding previous years. If he satisfies both these conditions, then he will be a resident and ordinary resident. Otherwise, he'll be an ordinary resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, the HUF will be. Then the karta or for resident HUF should be a resident in at least 2 previous years out of the 10 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year, or the stay of the karta during the 7 years immediately preceding, sorry, not or, and the stay of the karta during the 7 years preceding the previous year should be 730 days or more. So if he fulfills both these conditions, then the HUF will set to be a resident and ordinary resident. If any one of these two conditions is not fulfilled by the karta of the HUF, then the HUF will set to be a resident but not an ordinary resident. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 minutes. Take about 2 minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Take about a minute more. Take about a minute more. Okay. Now, let's take an example. The business of a HUF is transacted from England and all the policies or decisions are taken from there. Mr. B, the Karta of the HUF, who was born in Mumbai, visits India during the previous year 1920 after 15 years. He comes to India on 1/4/2019 and leaves for Australia on 1/12/2019. Determine the residential status of Mr. B and the HUF for assessment year 2021. Okay, so let's read the question again. The business of the HUF is transacted from England and all the policy decisions are taken there. Okay, so that means the HUF becomes a non-resident. Mr. B, the Karta of the HUF, who was born in Mumbai, visits India during the previous year 1920 after 15 years. That means he's not been in India for 15 years. And after he comes to India on 1/4/2019 and leaves for Australia on 1/12. So from 1/4/2019 to 1/12/2019, how many days? 30 plus 31, 61, 61 plus 30, 91, 91 plus 31, 122, 122 plus 31, 153, 183, 184, 214, 244, November, and 245. So from 1st April 2019 to 31st to 1st December 2019, Mr. B is in India for 245 days. So that makes him a non-resident as, he comes to India for the first time. So he's in India for 182 days or more, right? So he becomes a resident India, whereas the HUF is a non-resident Indian. All right, let's look at the solution. During the previous year, 1920, Mr. B has stayed in India for 245 days. Therefore, he's a resident because he completes the first condition, 182 days or more. Since he has come to India after 15 days, he does not satisfy any of the conditions for being an ordinary resident. Therefore, the residential status of Mr. B for previous year 1920 is resident but not ordinary resident. Okay? Yeah. Then, since the business of the HUF is transacted wholly from Australia and nothing is mentioned regarding its control and management, it is assumed that the control and management is also wholly outside India. Therefore, the HUF is a non-resident for previous year 1920. All right? Please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Okay, and we'll stop with this for today. So we will continue tomorrow at 8:15 again with this chapter. All right, thank you so much and good night.